Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert's Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, Impact Wrestling presents Against All Odds. Yeah, this show happened on Friday night. I was able to get it finished up today. Figured go ahead and do a quick little review of it. It's pretty good matches. A couple results surprised me, but I'm actually happy with them. So first we had two pre-show matches. We had KiLynn versus Nevaeh. Your typical pre-show match is short, sweet, to the point. KiLynn getting the victory. I ended up giving it 1 3/4 star. And then we had the Impact Digital Media Championship on the line. In a rematch, we had champion Hendry versus Dirty Dango. Dirty Dango has kind of been this heel character, kind of I don't care. I'm here because I've been to WWE before, and it doesn't matter what anybody thinks and all this. And he attacked Santina Marella, who was the director of Authority. I don't get the character. It's just like whatever, kind of. Hendry, I've always been a big fan of his. He's an uber talented guy. I've seen him in Rev Pro before, and years ago in Defiant Wrestling over in UK area. But Hendry got the retain here for his Impact Digital Media title. I give it 2.5. Really nothing special. The first match on the main card was Frankie Kazarian versus Eddie Edwards. This was a really good opening match. Kind of the face of what current an old school TNA Impact division and Frankie Kazarian versus kind of Eddie Edwards. He was part of Ring of Honor. Him and Davey Richards was part of the Wolves in TNA. And they've tag team champion multiple times over. And Eddie's kind of been this heel character here recently. Overall, the match was just good dynamic, back and forth between the two of them. It would have been cool if it had been like a #1 contender match or something, but it really wasn't. But I ended up giving it 3.5 with Frankie Kazarian getting the victory. Next up, we had Brian Myers' two stooge, the Good Hands, Jason Hotch and John Skyler, going after the Impact World Tag Team titles against ABC, another Bullet Club, Ace Austin, and Chris Bay. One of the greatest tag teams in AEW, if you ask me, and in the world. The Good Hands is an okay tag team. This match actually was surprisingly good. They only gave it 9 minutes and 43 seconds, so it wasn't really long. Bullet Club was able to hit all their spots. Brian Myers did try to get involved like he does. But ABC Club was able to get this victory and retain those tag titles. I ended up giving it 3 1/4. The next match was actually overall disappointment to me. We had a dog collar match. We had Masha Slamovich versus Killer Kelly. Because I watched so much pro wrestling, because I've watched Masha Slamovich as the Game Changer Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. I've seen her in death matches. Her in a dog collar match versus somebody like Killer Kelly. Kind of like, oh, this could actually be pretty good. I mean, but you also got to think the last big dog collar match we saw was that double dog collar match, the Briscoes versus FTR. What's going to live up to that? It was an okay match. It was more like a strap match than anything. It was just kind of like there wasn't a lot of blood, wasn't a lot of violence. So it was kind of like, oh, ho-hum. Masha ended up getting the victory. I ended up giving it 3 1/4. Next up, we had the Impact Wrestling X Division Championship on the line. We had 8-time X Division champion Chris Sabin, the leader of the X Division, versus Trey Miguel, kind of the new school X Division. Old school versus new school is the way this match was kind of built up. Did not disappoint whatsoever. One of the great Impact X Division title matches. I ended up giving it 3 3/4 star. And 9-time X Division champion Chris Sabin, one half of the Motor City Machine Guns, becoming your X Division champion for a 9th time. Absolutely amazing. Great match. 3 3/4 star. Next up, we had a very unique match. It was a #1 contender for the world title. It was an 8-4-1 match. So basically, it starts out as an 8-man tag. The team of 4 that won became a fatal 4-way, and then you have one winner take over. First time ever for a match like this. Now, this is a version of a match that Warrior Wrestling uses. Let me go ahead and pull that up here. Give me one moment here. The one in Warrior Wrestling is called War of Attrition. So it's basically the same idea. You start as an 8-man tag, but that one you have the 8-man tag, the 4 winners, you split off in the tag team, and then you have a one-on-one match. This one here is just an 8-man tag, and then fatal 4-way, and then a one-on-one. So the teams to start was Bully Ray, Jonathan Gresham, Heath, and Aldis. They went against Moose, Mike Bailey, Rich Swann, and PCO. So whichever team won, those 4 would be a fatal 4-way. So we had Bully Ray, Jonathan Gresham, Heath, and Aldis in fatal 4-way. And then Aldis, it was elimination fatal 4-way. And then Aldis became your number 1 contender. The concept, like that War of Attrition with Warrior Wrestling, I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite gimmicks. Wasn't too bad. I ended up giving it 3.5 with Aldis becoming your number 1 contender. And so it's kind of one of those deals at this point in the show is like, okay, Sabin, your Impact Wrestling, your Impact X Division title. His buddy, Alex Shelley, the other half of Motor City Machine Guns, is going up against Steve Macklin as the main event for the World Heavyweight title. And now Aldis is your number 1 contender. What's going to be a better match? Aldis and Steve Macklin or Aldis and Alex Shelley? That was one of those mysteries that I could not wait to get to the answer of, to be honest with you. And then, so, once we had that, next up we had a women's tag match. We had Gisele Shaw teaming up with Samantha Evans, going against Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity. Now, at Slammiversary, we know we're going to get Deonna Purrazzo, Impact Women's Champion, Knockouts Champion versus Trinity. But now they had to team up. I hate we do matches like this. We'll team them up on this show, but they're going to face each other on this show. So they have to get along. They have to team up. They have to protect each other so that way everyone is healthy when we go to the next show. But Deonna Purrazzo and Trinity ended up getting the victory, which you kind of figure would. Ended up giving it 2.25. Next up, we had a 6-man tag in an Ohio street fight. OVE, one versus everyone. Ohio versus everyone. At the last show, Under Siege, we saw the return of Jake Crist. Here we saw the return of Madman Fulton teaming up with Sami Callihan, going against the Design. Callihan once tried to join the Design, and it was more of a underhanded ruse in order to defeat the Design. The Design is Alan Angels, Diener, and Khan. It was an okay street fight. Nothing really spectacular about it. But we had OVE getting the victory, which you actually kind of figured would, honestly. I ended up giving it 3.5. And then we had our main event. We had Alex Shelley challenging once again for the Impact World Heavyweight title. Alex Shelley has never been Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. He's been a world champion in other companies, but never in Impact Wrestling. He's held world titles, let's see here, in WXW, Westside Extreme Wrestling. He's been a 2-time Prestige Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. He's been a tag team champion with Chris Sabin in New Japan, Super Junior tournament winner, strong openweight tag titles. He's held Game Changer tag titles with Chris Sabin, Combat Zone Junior Champion, Action Wrestling Match of the Year, AAW Tag Team titles, but never World Champion. He's in Ring of Honor Tag Team titles, Sabin, and of course the gamut of everything at TNA, but never that world title TNA. He's in multiple world title matches. He's Pro Wrestling Revolver World Champion. He is Prestige World Champion, like I said. I watched him in all these other companies. He's had a couple other title matches in Impact that he wasn't able to win. But finally, after 20 years of trying, Alex Shelley, Motor City Machine Gun, your new Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. I give this match 4 1/4. He is so good at what he does. Steve Macklin, I mean, he brought the power. Pretty decent worker. But once Crist Sabin won the X title, I'm like, yeah, that kind of told me that Alex Shelley more than likely was going to win the world title, because they both lost at one of the earlier pay-per-views this year. So I'm like, the fact they had them both win, Nick Aldis versus Alex Shelley, I'm all in for that. Come on now. That's going to be hella good. Can't wait for that match. But that is a review of Impact Wrestling Against All Odds. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.